This is an exclusive scoop from the Court of Arbitration for Sports, where Vinesh Phogat had appealed and said that there was at least a silver that was deserving to her, because until then all was fair. And now, in the latest that I can bring to you, the details that we have, this is the inside scoop only India Today has been able to access, of what did the judgment say from the CAS. Could this appeal by Vinesh Phogat lead to a change for the rules as well? Because CAS appears to be agreeing that Vinesh Phogat was victim of a draconian rule, that the rules are too strict, and the manner in which they've even said that this appears to be draconian in nature, of which she was a victim, but rules are rules, and therefore that cannot be changed right now. Rules basically had meant that because of the weight criteria that she did not clear, she was now last in the list, even though she had successfully beaten her opponents. But the final weighing that was done, it brought her down to the last in the queue. This has been questioned and slammed. Arbitrator even has said that the weight-in rule is draconian in nature. The question is, could this appeal, the outrage, the discussion and debates on it lead to a change in the CAS? Because this episode, remember, was not just about India or an Indian athlete. The world wrestlers, the world was watching it, discussing it and debating it. Perhaps it's time asking for some change on it. Joining me, our sports editor Nikhil Nas for the latest on that. Nikhil, good morning. This is very interesting. Of course, this was a full topic of debate all these days. But tell us more about the details that you have had beyond the dismissive of the plea. What is the CAS saying?
Well, Pooja, it's very interesting to read that entire 24-page verdict that has come, because initially all we got to know was a one-line verdict that it's been dismissed.
Yes.
Once you read a detailed verdict, you do realize that they'd gone into the nitty-gritties of this entire case. In fact, they also go on to point, why is it that you had those delays? Because eventually it is the rules that have triumphed emotions in this entire case. But why is it that when the rules were already known, when a lot of people had already said, you know, which way the verdict is going to come, because no rules were tweaked as such, so UWW was on a strong footing. So what is it that caused the delay? It was basically that one particular, argument that Vinesh lawyers, as well as Indian Olympic Association, represented by Harish Salve and Vidushpat Singhania, the argument that they had made was, apart from 6-7 different arguments, the one argument was that, okay, fine, you're disqualifying her for that being slightly overweight, but you must keep into account that on day one of the competition, she was within the prescribed weight limit, and she ended up reaching the final. And in that case, the eventual silver medalist is someone who she had beaten in the semi-final. Is that really fair? So they were questioning the spirit of the sport and in general fair play in this entire thing. And at that point, I think the arbitrator spent some time deliberating. Eventually, if you read the verdict, for every little argument that was made, there's a rebuttal. One, you should have allowed some sort of weight allowance, to which they say, no, it cannot be, because the laws were known to the wrestler. She's not a newbie. It's not the first time she's participating. She knew these laws existed, so it's not an unknown, right? The other argument that they made was, she could have been going through menstrual cycles. There was a distance from the village to the playing area, as well as, she needed to replenish herself. All these arguments that was made, there was a point-by-point rebuttal. But only in this, the word that is used is very interesting, where, you talk about allowing her the silver because on day one she was within the weight category limit, to which she says, even though the result of disqualifying her are draconian, but the rules are pretty much clear, and I do not have the authority to give her the medal. That only rests with the IOC. So it is up to the IOC to decide if they want to give the medal. To which the IOC said, see, our rules are also clear. We can only give medals to anyone who's classified 1, 2 or 3. But in the qualification, she's classified last, which is part of the rule. And this is how exactly it's mentioned. So there is no authority that we can give her the medal. So that's the only thing. Maybe what this gives you an indication going forward, UWW might look at this rule of a 2-day weighing in. And if on one day she's within the limit and she's reached a certain stage, you allow her to be that position
Yes.
at the end of the competition. In Venish's case, it would have been the second position. Maybe going forward, they may deliberate about it. But
Okay.
right now, the laws were clear, and there was no, sort of hope for any wrestler that was disqualified. So that's the interesting bit of the entire judgment.
And cannot change the rules right away, at least when the tournament is on, is what the CAS has come. But could this in future result in changes? And that would be because there was an appeal that had come in from Vinesh Phogat. Thank you very much for now. Nikhil Nas, tracking all the latest. It's a big development. Remember, we're bringing you the inside scoop, not just about the fact that the plea was dismissed, but what else beyond all of that the CAS had to say in this case.